That all transition worked. Haha, no, nothing happened. Welcome everyone. That worked out. No, it's okay. No one's here. No one here. No one saw that. No one saw that. No one saw that. Okay, cool. Welcome everyone to another surprise stream. I'm streaming on what is this, Friday? Oh, I said I'd stream on Friday. Never mind. I guess everything was according to plan. But yo, today we be continuing this whole trend of drawing for projects that I'm working on and not playing games. Because playing games is for nerds. That's right. I'm doing this weird, like, head thing. I don't know what this is. We're gonna wait around. We're gonna wait around for people to show up. I mean, hopefully no one's watching right now because nothing happened. Nothing happened. I clicked the right buttons at the right time. It's fine. But anyways, as you can see in the title, right there, that I'm looking at, we're gonna be designing enemies for my game. And, you guys can suggest some if you'd like. This is mostly just brainstorming. I don't really have any, like, particularly, like, specific, ideas for enemies. Oh, shoot, I didn't turn the freaking music on. Hold up. I always forget. Especially since that whole debacle happened. It kind of made me forget. But anyways. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and share this with people. Wait, what's that? Someone's about to say something in the chat. What is this? I'm predicting someone's about to say something. Look at that! It's Meta 7. He says Quello. Quello Meta. Okay, we'll send the thing to the Discord thing so people in the Discord know that I'm live. What is that called? What's that channel called? I forgot. Oh, yeah. This one. I'm gonna send a funny message with it. There we go. Okay, well, yeah. There's literally no one here. Fine. Alright. I guess we'll just go with it. No need for any formalities, I suppose. Okay. Now the cool thing about this is that now anyone that shows up, I guess they wouldn't have context anyways, would they? They won't have context for this image, because I'm not going to explain it because no one's here. I'm just going to go ahead and design stuff. So, like, basically, oh no, I was about to explain it. There's no one to explain it to. Why would I explain? Okay, well, someone could be watching in a VOD, I suppose. So, basically, these are the enemies. So in the game, there's 7 main areas, or levels, I suppose you could call them, in the game, but only 6 of them will have actual enemies in it. The first area is just a tutorial area, more so. It's a tutorial as well as like what do you call it? a tutorial as well as the place where the thing starts. It gets you into the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But so there's no like enemies roaming around. It's also a small area, so it'd be kind of weird if there were enemies roaming around. But after that we have the junkyard, the streets, a cathedral, but I said it was a church because I didn't want to spell cathedral, the underground, the carnival, and a spoiler. I can't say what it is. But yeah. Oh yeah. This over here is essentially just the names that I came up with for some of the enemies. So we have the Scrappies, the Pack Trap, the Manics. Most of these haven't been drawn, but they are drawn. These ones are. So this is a Scrappy. I'll wait to like explain these more in depth when people actually show up. I suppose it's because I started this at 10 instead of 8. I just figured it'd work out because it worked out the last time. But that's fine. It's actually not fine. I wanted people to actually be here so that I could like bounce ideas off of people, and they could like suggest things. But I guess we'll have to rely on ourselves here. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and start designing some of these creatures here. I'll start with the Thumpers because I have a very particular idea with those. Well, not very particular, but it's like I kind of know what they're gonna look like. So basically, the way I imagine them is that yeah, that thing right there. Yo, Izu's here! Someone's actually here! Welcome, Izu. Hold up. Cause oh, never mind. Okay, what's up? Whoa, someone's actually here watching the stream. Isn't that crazy? That sound effect as I zoom in on the pixels. Today, I guess I'll go ahead and re-say everything I said. Today, I'm gonna be designing enemies for my game. That's what we're doing. So yeah, right, you specifically, Izu, because you're the only one in the chat, you kind of already know most of this information. Well, regarding the locations. So I guess I'll go ahead and explain the enemies. See here we got the Scrappies, the Pack Trap. Whoa. We already made those. Made this one in that one stream. And then we also have this, which was also taken from that one stream, but it's more I took the idea and I reworked it. These are called the Manics, short for mannequin. Just a really happy mannequin. It's the pack behind the slaughter, yeah. So these guys, I kind of imagined. Well, so first off, with like most of these, it's like they all have like a cross between like two things, like Pack Trap is a cross between Pac-Man. Welcome, Cynthia! More than one person's here, whoa. So Pack Trap is a cross between Pac-Man and Golden Freddy, or Nightmare Fredbear, which has the stomach mouth, which is I really love that design in the original games, where it's like, because it's cool. Because the whole idea is like the kids being stuffed in the suits, so it's the suit the area where they're stuffed into itself has the mouth. I am making another game. Hacktrap has 202 IQ, that's pretty low. Manic over here is a cross between a mannequin, Disney, and one of those like drawing things that artists have, like those little like figurines, those wooden figurines with no face. That's what the head and body is from. But the actual like Disney portion of it is where you have the gloves and the shoes, and then the rubber hose type arms, as in rubber hose style animation. Yeah, kind of the idea is that this is like a Disney World type animatronic, which is all cartoonish looking. It ate the gum fruit. The kid stuffed in the suit, man. I didn't know you referenced FNAF when moving to Twitch. What do you mean? What? You just try to suggest I did something? Because I probably did. But anyways, we're gonna jump all the way over here to the carnival, and we have the troll. The trolls. Well, the trolls are actually more built up from something in the underground, which or I guess it doesn't have. I guess technically speaking. Oh, that it doesn't move with it. It's on different layers. I guess these would be in both areas. There we go. He does a little trolling. Welcome to the underground. So you match the stiffness of the doll and forgot the word, fluid. Oh, the rubber hoseness. I don't know. Anyways, the trolls are essentially, they're like the minions. Not like the minions, you know what I mean. They are the underlings of Cringe the Clown. So essentially their whole thing is they just like regurgitate dead memes and stuff. And obviously the face is like a... Oh, I gotta scratch my ears. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so like the troll, it's like it's supposed to be like the troll face. Yeah. And they're wearing like a big just troll face mask over themselves while they're wearing like suits and stuff. But it's also supposed to be like it's that, but it's also like The Mask, like the Jim Carrey movie The Mask, where it's all CGI animated. And so you get moments like this. And this is supposed to be like that one meme with the Five Nights at Freddy's characters with the big eyes and like, genitals? Yeah. So I just sketched this one down because I'd imagine this would be like the face they'd make during an attack. And their whole body would just go stiff and they go like, ding, and then they do whatever. Because they're all cartoonish and silly. They do professional amount of mishaps. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Anyways, the point of this stream is mostly to like sketch like just potential designs for some of these characters. He is a wacky fellow. And what's great is that there's multiple of them, so it's pretty cool. If we go over here, we have like the names for everything. Here I had the idea of one of them being called Huminions, as in, well, it's a double pun, as in human, but then also humor. So it's a Huminion. But I probably will not be doing that one. Mostly because it makes more sense, like, story-wise, if it's only the trolls that are... Like, only these guys that are running around. Because why would there be multiple of, like, the same people, like, just... Or, like, if there's already multiple of the same people, why would there be multiple of, like, a different type of people? It just, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes more sense if there's just only trolls, I guess. If since they're working under the same person. In the game I was making a long time ago, I was gonna use, like, roboticized rabbit. Interesting. Welcome, Jack Simon's place.
I'm about to go to bed. I know we couldn't Skype tonight, but that's alright. Night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
Can't see it. Okay. But anyways, oh, I'm not gonna shoot. I'm not gonna explain, we're not gonna do anything with this one, or explain it or anything. We're just gonna leave that there. Because one, I already have a pretty clear idea of the enemies that I'm gonna put there, so we're just not gonna mess with it. It's also quite a lore issue. There's more. How did all that happen? Oh, that's right. Okay, I drew that there. You should add a sound of the video of you showing the star platinum drawing. I would, but like you can't understand what I'm saying in that one. Yeah, that's a new one. Okay. For the question mark, add your computer as a cameo. It's a special attack is to crash FL Studio. That would be great. Oh, so what? Their attack just kills themselves? That's a great idea, actually. Oh, or it stops the song. That's a cool. I'm gonna add that here because it's a. It kind of makes more sense, I'd say. Trying to figure it out. Is that the song in the background of the circus theme? Yep. It's called, what is it called? It's called, hold up. It's called A Joke. I'm very proud of myself for that one. It's silly, yeah. See, the thing I always get... So, I have an easy time imagining what, like... Will Armix drink in this? Well, no. Armix can't drink at all, so... It's a little... There is, however, an alcohol shop that does sell lean. You just can't drink it because you're a robot, so... Oh! Concept revived! AKA Cynthia, what is your question? Anyways, what I was saying was it's hard for me to imagine what the bodies should look like. Because I want them all to be unique, but so like I don't want what happened. I don't know, I guess I'll just make it a tank or something, like give it yeah, let's do that. Let's make it a tank. Have you ever the? No. You can't love lean in Armix game. It'll make the game too good. Ah, that's true. What happened? And y'all love that one, don't you? Ah, I should have made it quieter. That hurts. But now y'all gonna do it more, aren't you? Now that you know that. Okay, let's put the keyboard here.
Damn, Daniel! What happened?
Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it. Didn't want to say anything. Yeah, this kind of works. I don't see how this could ever hurt you at all, but yeah. It works as a design. Persona 4. So for the first time ever, I'll be animating while watching the stream instead of afterwards. So, whoa! That's pretty cool. Ugh. It hurts you by crashing itself. But what? That doesn't make sense. I'll find a way to make it make sense. It has to, because it's funny. Ah, self-destruction, that's true. Yeah, and this will be that type of game where, when you get... Like, when you are dealt damage, the damage stays with you even after battle, so it'll... So I guess it'd still be effective. What happened? If you're... I'm not gonna read that. There we go. See, this is a little thing I like to call viewer interaction. We got a suggestion and then I got to draw it because there was someone in the chat. Cool. What should it be called though? It's got to be like a pun or something catchy, you know? Call it the banger machine. Florgan Borgen 91. Huh, or the com tanker. Those are all good suggestions, huh? Crash and burn. I like the idea of it being called the Banger because it's in reference to FL Studio crashing, but also because it explodes, so it'd be a bang. We call it Banger. Yeah, that works. But if we are gonna call it that, it needs to have like, I've SG's. It needs to have like speakers. SG Johnson, a family compilation or whatever it's called. There. What happened? Squid Game. Right, cool. So that happened. Give it headphones. We could try. You know what? Nah, cause they're. Cause now I'm thinking about it. Actually, headphones is kind of a good idea. Nah, it's too hard to figure out with like its square head. I'm gonna just not deal with it. But we could give headphones to one of the street thugs. So what are their names? We got, these are just like ideas. We can always add more, by the way. It doesn't just have to be the ones that with the names I put out there. So like we can just add whatever we want. Or have a character who controls them, who wears headphones? What do you mean? How come you, I can't say that. That is a good question though, I've actually never wondered that. Oh, but right, I forgot. The reason I was doing that was to look at them. The Wham Stars and the Psypunks. That's like the names I came up with. But I don't know what, like... I don't really have any ideas for them. You know, I might skip this for now. Like, have a ruler like the mechanist from Fallout 3 who controls rulers. Oh, I see. Well, that's the idea for all of these. That's what all of these are meant to be. These are all robots created by the same person. And they're, programmed to attack you. Add a little thing there. Oh yeah, we could do the one in the cathedral. Yeah, he has the grunt face as well. Forgot about that. Or I forgot that's why I designed... Because it is supposed to be like a drawing figurine face. But then I thought like, oh, I'm gonna just make it a plus sign like a madness character. So for the ones in the cathedral, we have the nun drums, the bishops, and the thumpers. I'm not actually too sure what a bishop looks like. I just chose it because the name sounds cool. I'm gonna look it up. Bishop. Where's Jesus? He's somewhere up there. I can't keep track of that guy. Oh, so those are the guys that wear the hats. I see. Okay. At the church, have a book. What happened? Enemy called Ambiguous Aesthetic with a weird version of odd aesthetic. That sounds like that'd be very hard to animate, so I'm gonna say no on that. But what I will do, I guess we'll start with the nun drums. So obviously they're gonna have like So as opposed to these ones, these aren't going to be really robots. They are going to be just normal people. So we have to be a little bit less creative, I suppose, but... I guess I should also kind of explain the context. Behind, like, kind of the villain choices. So obviously, so the junkyard, it's all a bunch of, like, junky robots created by someone who they're all just sent out to attack anyone who enters the junkyard because that's, like, his base of operations. In the streets, it's mostly just a bunch of gang members that are just fighting you because they're gang members or whatever. In the church, or the cathedral, I just didn't want to spell the word church. Or no, it's called the cathedral. I just didn't want to spell cathedral, so I called it a church. But anyways, basically, you've, like, walked in on, like, this cult meeting there, and, like, now the cult's after you. So it's just a bunch of cult members. For the underground, it's just a bunch of, like, general, just, like, villains and stuff. Locust Gang! Oh, good one! The Locusts. I'm gonna call it Locusts, not Locust Gang, just because the other ones aren't called that. But yeah, that's a good one. Where's Sergio for your underground? I did think about having, like, some Undertale inspired characters, but I was actually thinking of using some, like, old designs. Alright, never mind then. A Meta 7 reference. Oh. And I'm realizing now I don't really have, like, concept designs on hand for that, so I guess we just end up making something up anyways, but whatever. And the carnival, I guess it would just be this guy. Who makes that face and says those words. And then I'm not gonna do that one, so I guess these two are the only ones I'd be working on today. So yeah, we're essentially just making the cult group. Just be a little harder, so I have to be a little bit less loose with it, because these are supposed to these are, like, actual people, so I have to be a little bit more consistent. Does the call have Among Us nuggets? I can't say they do. There we go. They'll have their eyes closed as if they're praying constantly. In fact, I'll even have their hands kind of clasped together. See, the great thing about religion is, you know, like, when talking about race or gender or sexuality or anything, you're very limited on what you can say, right, without somebody getting offended. The great thing about religion is that you can make fun of it all you want, and it's socially acceptable. Wait, that's one hand. How do I make this look like two? Okay. Yeah. Cause like, it's because like, it's the whole thing with like, well, I guess more specifically, it's like Christianity. If you make fun of like Muslim or Islam, I mean, if you make fun of Islam, you'll get some like hate for that. But if you're making fun of like Christianity, I'm twisting the truth a little bit. I'm being a little rambunctious. But I'm just saying, like, generally, people won't care if you're making fun of like Christianity, except for like actual Christians, because it's like kind of the stereotype is that we're all like racist ourselves. So if you're mean towards a Christian, that's a good thing because you're being mean towards a potential racist or whatever, or sexist. Or I guess it's not necessarily a good thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like most people won't care, as opposed to if you're making fun of something like race or gender. And that has been Meta 7 with explaining the joke. Tune in next time and I'll tell you all how to be funny. What's also especially great about this one, though, is that even if that does happen, and someone's be like, "Ah, you're misrepresenting this religion," don't worry, I still have an outing because I myself am a Christian, so I can say this. I can say these things and make fun of these things. The joke has been explained. Funny stats increased. Is that how the thumb go? Yeah. Okay. I guess also another outing I have is that this is like not actually Christianity and it's a fictional cult, but like I feel like this sort of like Christian-esque ideology that's bleeding through, but still like, I don't know, but oh, thank you for the redeem. Meta drawing thumb for 7 minutes. Well, that's great, because we also have to draw the Thumpers, which are a pun, of course. It's supposed to be like Bible thumpers, ha ha ha. Which, yeah. Without me sending it like a 1 second and waiting points. Oh, and wasting points. Okay, now we'll just have it like that. Wow. Oh, here we go. That's better. That's better. I was drawing at the wrong angle. Finally done drawing the characters for my video. Let's let this animate one of them floating up. That's pretty cool. On a more serious note, do you think people actually will be offended by this game? Because that's actually kind of a concern of me. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like this could be twisted in a wrong way by some media news article. If it were to, you know, get popular enough. I don't feel like it would, though, but... Just knowing my track record, you know, I'm essentially not allowed to have any work I do be acknowledged by a large sum of people. And that's not me complaining, that's just me stating a fact. That's just kind of how it's always been. This Arm X character these are only sketches, they don't have to look good. I just, you know, I thought that they might look feasible. I also have something else to say. I know, sorta, like... I now sorta like FNF again. Yeah! Woohoo! We got a, what's the word? Relapse? Or rebound? We got a rebound over here. Wait, that's a basketball term. Hold on. I don't know what I'm talking about, but hey, that's pretty cool. Make it somewhat inspired, but by design and action that can't be misinterpreted to be something offensive. Yeah, I mean... Redemption. It's actually kind of funny because I mean, I've stated for a while that I'm kind of like not into it anymore. But now I've gotten to the point where if I see it on my Twitter timeline, I just scroll past it as fast as possible because I'm kind of tired of seeing it. Not specifically Friday Night Funkin', just like the mods and stuff, because there's so many of them now. It's just hard to keep track of, and I don't really want to. Oh yeah, the 4chan one. Definitely has good animation. I'll give them that. But see, that's an example of something that you can make if you want to get canceled. Because that's well, it's I get it, it's 4chan. Kind of has to be that way, but yeah, good luck. If you've worked on that mod, good luck getting a job in the future. How could you not keep track of the famous D's Nuts mod? It's the hottest new thing, bro. Welcome, T! Guys, I got a joke for you. T's Nuts. Okay, I cannot get these arms to obey whatever. I'm just gonna leave it. I know it looks bad. We're gonna leave it like that though. And we're gonna do the rest of these. That's another thing, is that I actually forgot all of these cultists wear masks. So we gotta remember they're wearing a mask. That song from that mod is, yep, word we can't say. Oh, that was the problem, was the shoulder placement. Oh, that makes sense. So I guess this would be more like this? Yeah, I know, it's a game titled Armix and I can't even draw the arms right. But even this one, like, trying to get to like go at this angle, you know? She looks like she's playing a card game with friends. What do you mean? When are you gonna play FNF mods again? I don't know. I did end up like adding more to like that list at some point, but I honestly have no idea. Because again, a lot of the streams I'll be doing are kind of gonna be revolving around the game and the webcomic. Just because it's like hitting multiple birds with multiple stones. If you get that joke, I guess. You know what we really need to figure out though, that I just realized. What's gonna be the symbol of this cult? So to briefly explain it, essentially their whole ideology is that showing your face is sinful. This is progressive. How does their symbol even go? Well, anyways, the whole thing is they're for all like you show your face and that's like sinful or whatever, right? Because it's like the whole idea of it is that in the Bible it's said that like you are made in the image of God, so in their ideology showing your face is like showing God, which you're not allowed to see. So that's kind of their logic, and it's really dumb logic, which is the point. But circle an X inside the circle. Yeah, it should be something where it's like rejecting a face. So probably something along those lines. It'll be like yeah, let's draw a circle. And then we'll have I smile. Something like that. Oh, wait. Get rid of the I, simplify it a little. Put the X over it. And then now it just looks like XD. That's even better. That's actually even better. Okay, yeah, it's an XD symbol. That's a dream. That's what the point of the basket is. Welcome, Tree Sauce. Face reveal would be something very different. Sorry, I was late taking a shower. No problem. You missed a few things. Basically, we are designing enemies for my game. We got Scrappy Pack Trap. This is Manic. This is Banger. This is called the Nundrum. And over here, we got a troll. And he's making a troll face. I like this face. This one's my favorite. In fact, I should go ahead and name it Nundrum. Which, by the way, if you don't get the joke, it is a conundrum. And yeah, I'd probably do something like that. We'll make this one a lady. Well, I guess because it's a nun, it would be a lady anyways, but you know what I mean. Let's design it to have hips and such, because I like drawing those. As opposed to guy anatomy, because I don't know. looking like Spamton. Oh, the troll. Yeah, kind of does. That could be a cool attack. That his face just turns into that of Spamton G Spamton. Meta loves hips confirmed. I do. Subjectively speaking, girl anatomy is just more visually appealing than guy anatomy, for me at least. So, how does like the dress end? Is it like tight fitted, or is it, I think it's just like this. I'm saying for like a normal nun dress, I think it would look like that. Which actually, I think it kind of works out if we do it like this. Or even if we have, yeah, something like that, where it's a continuous line. Yeah, there we go. Hey, that works. In fact, you know what? I am... You look like Wiz from Konosuba. Ah. I should go ahead and play... And by the way, I lied. This actually is not the song that plays when you're in the carnival. This is the theme for the... Whenever Cringe the Clown is on screen. I got them confused because they're very similar sounding, because leitmotifs and all that. Go to Cathedral. We can play Grim Hymn. I know, how sinful. Now that I'm looking at it, the proportions are off. The legs are supposed to be a lot longer, but we're gonna go with that for now. Alright, so that's the Nundrum. You can make a big shot or a big that joke. Yeah. Wait, Troll could put on Spamton shades and have a thud sound effect when he tells a punchline. That's his attack. So he goes like... he tells a joke, and then it goes like... And then the thud is so strong, it kills you. Next, we'll work on the bishops. Which, you know, it'd be fun if I based it more on like the bishops that you see in chess pieces. So I'm gonna look up bishop chess. Okay. So it's kind of got like this whole thing going on. I think they'll resemble more of like a guard, just because they kind of have that look about them.
What the dog do?
What the dog do? It's got a little thing on him. The troll. Have you heard of an escaped troll? Exactly, I'm a silent troll. Okay. Yeah, what I'm imagining is, it'd be something like, wait, this. I'm trying to give it like more, like, I'm trying to make it look like they're puffing out their chest a little bit. Here we go. Arch the back. There we go. That looks more like it. Also, I'm gonna retcon it a little, just for the sake of convenience as well. This is not specifically a women. This is just what all of the cult members look like. And these specifically are the security guards that work for the place. These guys. But they're kind of made to look more like knights than bishops. Oh look, it's the good version of that meme. There we go. Have the hand here. There we go. Basically what I'm trying to draw here is the staff or spear or whatever that they're holding. I'm just looking at more of the reference pictures. We could have it to where this is like a staff that has a cross on it. That looks pretty good. In fact, aesthetic would have never happened if Tomoko is not the best girl. That's true, yeah. Let's see, they'll have like this sort of like knight armor look. Actually, let's have it to where it's like a dress of sorts. Like a chainmail dress. And his right arm is just behind his back. I'm not gonna draw it. I also don't know how his legs should look. I'm gonna resize him a little. Ooh, we could have it to where the leg is arched back a little. Spammed him. Here we go, here we go. Chris, I really don't understand how, why you think I'm the Tumblr sexy man. I am a big shot, not a limited time only symbol, dear God, and 7. Chris, I don't even have balls. Okay. You have failed the challenge. What challenge? I didn't agree to any challenge. There we go. And he'll have armor on his legs like that. Now I'm thinking I should give him a different name from like Bishop. Should be something else like I don't know, just like a pun, like I don't know, Bish. Is that a good one? Sure, let's go with it. Now, as for the Bible or the Thumpers, kind of an idea that I had is that they could be like, I don't know, I wanted them to be like a little lanky, somewhat. But I also can't really imagine Templar. What is Templar? Also, I'd imagine this would be kind of hard to animate. I'll fix up the design a little later on. It's a little more simpler. No, go away. It should be son of a bishop. Oh, that's a good one. So, sono fa bishop. There we go. Sono fa bishop. Fixing design, is that a Twitter reference? Good one. In fact, I'll fix her head proportions, or I guess to be more upper body proportions as well. Ooh, or Sun Nova. I'll just go with that for now. There we go. That's better. Looks more human, I'd say. Actually, not so much. She's kind of... Now she's leaning a little bit too forward, I'd say. There we go. It's a little more balanced. There. Well, well, well. There's no sun on aesthetic. Yes, there is. It's just different. All right, then. I'm trying to think for the Thumpers. Like what do y'all think of when you think of Thumpers? Like this? Or like someone that like stomps on the floor. That's what I'm thinking. Not too sure. Maybe just 2 enemy types would be fine. There doesn't need to be a 3rd one. But what's that is the first letter of the alphabet, A. That's what that is. Yeah, I guess that's all that would be. That's all I really need. As for the underground, like I said, these are mostly just like, some of these may not even be used in the game. They're just ideas. What's a thumper? Well, the actual like point of the pun is that it is a Bible thumper, which describes someone I think the reason it's called that is because they take the Bible and they like tap their finger on it. That's what the thumping is the tap 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 tap, but it makes a thump sound. And that refers to somebody who is just constantly like, hey, look at this verse, you're not doing this right, you're being sinful, you know, those type people, which are usually the type of people that drive people away from Christianity in the first place, which is why I don't like them, which is why I'm gonna be very harsh on them in this. But yeah, that's essentially what they are. As for this though, I mean, if you have any ideas about it, then I will go into that. It's the actually. Hello, we are about to launch an all-out attack on your house. Sincerely, the zombies. What is that with the zombies? I've seen like memes with that where it's like the zombies or whatever. What is that from? I have to know. As for the underground, so the thing with the underground little characters is that they're mostly just gonna be like, oh, it's from Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Well, anyways, these are gonna be mostly just like super villains, but it's like average super villains because that's just like a common thing here. So that's the lines I'll be thinking upon. The underground trolls use Reddit, probably. That's where they get the memes from. And yeah, so okay, so like here's kind of a little bit of lore for y'all. Regarding the trolls, and this is kind of an idea I came up with earlier today. This may not be in the final game, but this is essentially the idea that I have. So basically, there is a character in Odd Aesthetic, which there are a few cameos to Odd Aesthetic specific characters. Neckbeard one. There are references to characters from Odd Aesthetic and stuff, right? Namely, Miss Illusion, which is part of the main villain group in season 1. Her whole thing is like illusion and mind control and all that. So essentially, her role in this story is that when you get to the underground, you find out what she's done is she's taken a bunch of people and essentially she's put the masks on them, and what the masks do is they mind control them and make them her slaves, basically. So I actually did have a name for them. They were called the Willless because she's stripped away their ability to, you know, have a will, essentially, or to make their own decisions. All that they can do is just her commands. And essentially this is done for cringe, to which she would then use them in the carnival. So in a sense, it kind of is like the underground, like, cause these will be villains in the underground, cause that's where they're all being manufactured. So they'll technically be recycled for the carnival. I think it's fine though, cause it makes sense, since that's what they're being made for, is to guard the carnival area where her master plan's going on. But yeah, they're all being like put together and stuff. When I say put together, I just mean like they're taking a bunch of random people and putting masks on them. That's all it really is. And they're making them march in single file lines and stuff like that. I was gonna show, because I downloaded it earlier, a picture of Miss Illusion. Just a sketch I did somewhat recently. If you can even see that. There she is. She's kind of got like this sort of like Egyptian sort of style to her. Yeah, and the wand here, the giant wand staff is what she uses for mind control and all that. Cringe. Porter makes a cameo in the underground section. I don't think I'll put any, I don't think I'll put her in there. Your camera's so 4K. Yeah, thank you. Before investing in crypto, I had a wife, 2 kids, a nice car, a pet dog. After I invested in crypto, my wife divorced and took the kids and the dog. My car broke down and now I'm homeless and take the bus. That's cool. She looked like a clown piece from Toho. She's not a clown. Hold on. This is right there. Well, anyways, that's my explanation for why they show up in both areas. Which I guess they don't have to. I guess I could just make it to where he only shows up, or they only show up here. It's just that you kind of see them in the background. I think I'll do that actually. That's better from a gameplay perspective, I'd say. Because it would be kind of weird to just sort of like fight them here and then also fight them here, even though it's unique enemies for every other area. So look up. Okay, fine. I'll stop the stream and do that, I guess. Clown piece? Clown piece. Images. I kind of see the resemblance. I guess because the hat. Yo, why is she like American though? Anyways. She's literally like wearing the American flag. But anyways.
Damn, Daniel.
I don't know. What do y'all think I should have for underground villains? Keep in mind, they are meant to be like supervillain type people. I'm gonna look through a sketchbook actually and see if I can find any. Don't mind the rustling of papers. To provoke, because America landed on the moon or something. Oh, that makes sense. I think we did do that at some point, actually. Oh, I just came across some designs for actual characters in the game. Oh, wow. That's actually where I came up with them. Oh, cool. Welcome, lovely Servine. Ooh, I just found a redesign of Miss Illusion before. She didn't look too good. I didn't like this one. Actually, I'm being reminded of a lot of things. I might come back to this at some point. But what I mostly want to see is if there's any... Oh, shoot! Look at that! Or, well, y'all can't see it. I drew the one girl from the last stream. Donnie. I forgot I drew that. Ah, well, that's what I should have based it on. Yeah, her hair looks so much better in this one. Yeah, her clothes are basically the same as what I designed it as. A bat and a clown outfit, kind of like Batman Joker fusion. Ooh. This is in a cave. It's, oh yeah, I guess I should have explained what the underground actually is. It's not necessarily a cave, it's more like you know, like Portal 2? It's basically like an underground facility. But it's like super technologically advanced because it's the year 7777. Oh wait, no. This is... The game takes place in the year 7772. because it's 3 years before the events of Autostatic, which is 7,777. 7,775, that's what I meant to say. As you can see, I've quite a bit of lore going on. Yeah, I'm not finding anything. Oh, wait. Oh! Here's one. Yeah. 7,000 and what? Okay. This specific game takes place in the year 7,772, while the events of Autostatic begin in the year 7,705. And then season 2 ends on the year 7,777 because it's a very important event that happens there. And then it ends, I haven't decided what year it ends, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna try to copy what I'm seeing here. Meta loves 7 Sean, basically. The number 7 is very relevant in the story, yes. Okay, I'm not doing a good job at conveying how this character looks. It's just a rough sketch. Yeah, it's fine. This is actually a character that does show up in Autostatic quite briefly, which means they're perfect for this, I'd say. Except not really when you think about it, because technically... Okay. Here's a little bit more lore for you. So, Autostatic, the story takes place in Epica City, whereas this story takes place specifically in Velo City, which is a neighboring city. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of argue that it kind of makes sense for this character to happen to be there. The reason it makes sense for everyone else is just because of the circumstance. Like, the other villains from Autostatic are here because Cringe the Clown is here. And then so is Tomoko and Armex. Essentially, what she is doing, like her whole like plan or whatever, has caused all these people to come here. In Velo City, you shock people. In Autostatic, you get shock. Sure. Cringe the Clown is here. Epica is epic? That is the pun, yeah. Okay, again, it's a rough sketch. I'll redraw it at some point. But they essentially look like that. And there's their hand. And look what they've got. They've got a scythe. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So this character, I forgot specifically what their name was, but I remember it was a pun on the word opaque. In fact, actually, their name probably was just opacity or something like that. Which doesn't make sense because that's the name of another city, because all the city names are puns, but... I'm trying to remember, she had like... Her whole thing, she had a bunch of like diamonds all over. Again, I'll redraw her. The scythe is used for cooking. Yeah. That's what scythes are supposed to be used for, is for reaping like plants But then people start saying, oh, death reaps souls, so then they use the scythe to convey that. Anyway, she looks way better in the drawing than I made, but that is, let me just call her opaque. Essentially, her whole thing, it does not have to do with invisibility, actually. Wait, Cringe the Clown is a pure example of how clowns are IRL? Not really. How about a triangle with a head on the top, but with no legs, but it has arms and it levitates and it's kind of like Gladys? Wait. You're saying, okay, a triangle with a head on the top. So is it like that? But it has arms. So like that. So like the security breach logo, basically. That'd be kind of a fun reference. Found the most epic pick on Discord. Wow. The Reaper uses a scythe because it thought to itself, I'm so based for not using a sword. I'm so iconic now. Cool. I'm seeing. Yeah, you know what? Let's draw all these. So okay, so I'm gonna explain this as well. It's a lot to explain, actually. But briefly speaking, Opaque and the next person I'm gonna draw are like, they're essentially just like two like villains, but they're like low time villains that were hired by one of the characters in like the main crew that's against Odd Aesthetic. This one's called Opaque, and then this one is called Bed Sheets. Essentially all it is just somebody who's underneath bed sheets. Which I think it kind of makes sense. Lore-wise. Because pretty much all that happened is he just hired a bunch of people from around the same area, which just happens to be Velocity. It would be right side up. Oh. So like that. Okay. Not sure if I'm I don't know if I really like the idea that much. Anyways. Just cause like, again, unlike this section, these are meant to be more just like people. Venom, let there be carnage. Okay. Anyways, he's got legs. See, look at him right there. I guess I could like work with it though, like, because there are people with like cybernetic upgrades and stuff, right? So yeah, probably I could have there be somebody. And the head levitates? Oh, that's gonna be more difficult to explain. I don't know. Because I like the idea. That is a cool, like, because I'm imagining the way you're explaining it is like kind of like this. So like the, like, I know you said it's right side up, but I like this better. That, and then there's just like a head. Like there. And then it's something like this. But there's like a rocket here, so they're floating. Like that could work. And then they got arms or whatever. Yeah, see? I think it works. I'm just not sure what the head would look like, though. Oh yeah, we need names. Okay, bed sheets. And this could be, I don't know a name for him. I'm gonna keep looking through my notebook, see if I can find. I use bed sheets for my bed. Ho ho ho, I get it. Ah, that's it for the notebook. Alright. Well, for that one. Ah, I'm seeing more designs that are being used in the game. Oh. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the page I was thinking about. Oh wow, okay, so here, I'm gonna write down the names of it, because there's actually a lot here. So get rid of these two. Oh! I gave them different names here. The ghost was called Go Host. I kind of like bed sheets better though. So, okay, so we have Opaque. Fred Fly Guy. Okay. That works. Okay. Fred Fly Guy. And I feel like it also kind of makes sense if there's more variety here. It's a lot more work to do, but when you think about it in terms of like this, I need to add, what's his face? A banger there. I feel like it makes more sense in context because those are just robots. You can reproduce robots. Here, these characters are all, like they're all wearing like sort of uniforms in a sense, so that's why they all look the same. Same with these guys. But here, it's all like different people, I think makes more sense. Because it's a group of criminals with their own like identity. Here we got Morphine. It's basically a guy in like a suit. Like a pink guy suit. Add a blender that tell bad jokes. The best I can do is like a guy with a blender for a head. Otherwise, it's just a little too much, I think. But, I don't know. Let's try that. Here we go. Blunderhead. That's the new Siren Head. I'll just put like normal body below it. I don't know. And he's called Blenderhead? Okay. Blenderhead. Oh, here's a good one. Desert Man. Oh. This was kind of similar to the idea of Blenderhead. It's just a person with like a cow mask, and they're called Lol Cow. There's this guy called Invert. He's actually a pretty old concept for a character that doesn't really work anymore. Can't even read that. Oh, I think it says this word that I can't say out loud. I don't know if I'll have that one though, because they're kind of similar in... why not? They're similar, like, in concept to the trolls, where they just regurgitate old memes, but... we'll go with that for now. I'm gonna see if there's any other concepts in this notebook. Concepts I can use anyways. Ah, there's a design for Chica. Alright, I'll need that for later. Ah, look at that. There's the old concept designs. Wait, yeah, y'all can't see, but there were old concept designs. And other characters, this, from Life Witch Animator. So apparently, Cyclone was originally called Starry Night. I guess it makes sense because she can fly. What happened? I gotta reuse that for someone because I like the idea of that name, Starry Night. Ah, here's a good one. It doesn't say his name, but I think I remember it was just called like Ace or something like that. Yo, there's a lot of old stuff in here. This was back when I was trying to make Audesthetic animated. Ah, those original concept designs that were really badly drawn. This actually looks terrible. I actually kind of hate that. I'm throwing that away. But actually, Blender should be in the question mark to go alongside the tank computer. Oh, well, he's not in there. I put the tank in the junkyard section. Just because I already have an idea for the question mark ones, but it's kind of a spoiler, so I can't show it. What if there's a character called CDs? Ah. And he was a guy who made music on CDs. Okay. I would like for this to show up here. Thank you. There we go. This is called CDs. All right. Now that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 characters. But I think it works out. And now probably we could have like security guard and type characters, but there's not really, like, I guess some of them could be like an army of sorts. But I guess I'll just go with that. I will be both limited and somewhat obligated to include all these. My name's not even CDs. My name's Nutty. Well, I think this has been pretty successful. We got like 20 minutes left. We could try designing some of the street thug type characters. I could also, well, I already have sketches for those other characters, so I technically don't need to draw them here, do I? Okay, we can do one of two things. We could draw out the Thumpers. We could figure out what the Thumpers should look like, or we could design the gang members. Now, I can't really think of any ideas of what the Thumpers should be, because I can't really think of what that name implies, like, visually. I guess I can kind of figure out like what the Thumpers should look like though, or the Thugs. Parody of DJ Spit. How would I design that? I don't know. The only way I could think of referencing that would just be to have some guys that are shirtless, that are all actually that is a good idea. Their whole thing is that they're all just shirtless, and they walk around in their pajamas. And they make SoundCloud music. Now, which name would these guys be? They could be the Wham Stars. I'm thinking the hand's a little small. That's I couldn't put it together. What's the problem with this? The hand's too small. There's that. I don't know, I'll just have the other hand just going over here. There we go. Yeah, and they'll just wear like flip-flops or something. I don't know. There we go. That's pretty good. Alright, so those are those guys. The Wham Stars, I guess. Here, we'll give them glasses too. Why not? Nah, we'll make him bald. Ooh, Crocs. That's a good one. Nah, I don't know how to draw Crocs. I'll just give him flip-flops. Plus, it is a parody of DJ Spit, so... The best Smiling Friends character. Alright, as for the Cypunks, I'd imagine they'd all have, like robot masks or something like that. We could make it based off that old character I had in my videos, where he wore the Transformers mask. Alright, you know what? I'll even base him off the old Jakku mask. Which looks something like this. I had to redesign it multiple times because each time I did it wasn't very good. There, it'll be something like that. Yeah. Charlie is pretty good though. I think that every line of dialogue that comes out of him is great. There's not a single bad one. There we go, something like that. I have it like on the floor here, but I'll just go with that for now. Yeah, we'll go with that. He's the best character? Who, Charlie or this guy? I was gonna change this. So it's not, you know, Jakku's mask. Because he still has the parentheses on his, I think. I don't actually remember the last time I redesigned it. But yeah. Probably. Both, okay. We're gonna give him horns. Which are somewhat visually similar. His name is Juku. Sure, why not? Or Joku. How long has it been since the stream started? About 2 hours. I am probably gonna end it soon. But yeah. Yeah, I'll give him big, like, Mega Man cannon hands. There, that's a design there, right there. I guess that's something. You know, actually, since they are the Psy-Punks, that means they have to be a bit more punk-ish. So I'm gonna give them one of these. And it's gonna go down their neck. Whoever we touch becomes canon. Oh no. Anyways, there's that. This is the side punk. And the wham. That's not how you spell that. Wham. Star. I'm just checking what's happening. Man, I don't even know where to start. We did all of this. And that's basically it. That's basically where we're gonna end. We're gonna zoom in on this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro. Thank you everybody for watching! I know I haven't been very energetic, but it's fine. Probably not fine, actually. Probably have like a problem. Or maybe just I'm not getting enough sleep. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, I'm Charmex. I'm gonna quit in 3 weeks without any warning and delete all my videos so that no one can enjoy them. Anyways, it's been fun, I suppose. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you like subscribe. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. Tree Sauce, Jackson Splice, Izu, and Love Sweet. And that's it. Jamata.